So now we're working on building an AI simulation engine that would help us get into a world, a virtual world. Imagine a leadership situation where it's not a self-assessment. We don't ask you a question, what do you do? No. We just show you like a video game, taking a direction, doing something. So it's a huge, complex thing.
Very complex.
But it's very exciting. So after the AI simulation of 40 minutes, analyzing what you do without being conscious of it. Because the problem with self-assessment, you're conscious of it.
You're projecting what you want people to see you as. So, welcome to another episode 31 of the Unbrandme Podcast. I can't believe that we're getting here. I mean, 31, like, how did that happen? At Brandwagon, we believe that better people make better brands, and better brands make a better world. I was invited to a keynote presentation that you were giving 2 weeks ago now at Supercharger Ventures. And I honestly went there because I respect the boss, and he told me to be there. And I said, sure, I'll go and I'll come and I'll support. And when I actually sat down, I said, here we go, another presentation about AI. You blew me away about the fact that you were barely talking about AI, and you really stuck to the whole script. And we're talking about the new generation of leadership in AI. My guest today is Arnaud Collery. Thank you so much for making it here, all the way from France.
That's right.
You're here for 3 days on your Supercharger Venture quest, pitching tomorrow night, yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to hearing about the amount of success that you're going to get, and hopefully getting too many investors behind your door knocking to throw money at you. I'm sure it's a great idea, and we're going to be talking about it today. Okay, so Arnaud, you're a son, a husband, a father, an award-winning comedian, a filmmaker, a two-time author, a 3-time TEDx speaker, a founder, a CEO, a coach who's worked with 1,000 CEOs in 30-odd different countries. But if you were to be introduced without mentioning your occupation, where you're from, where you grew up, what your hobbies and passions are, what your religion is, and any other superficial markers, who the hell is Arnaud?
Someone super curious about a human being. That's it. Just chasing another story, another fascinating person, another fascinating experience, chasing a movement, chasing energy. That's who I am.
I think if we track back the steps, going all the way back to stand-up comedy, studying finance, you can really, sense that curiosity has really led you. And even like in the last 15 minutes where we've actually been chatting, the type of questions that you're asking, you can really see that you're fueled by that. But okay, let's go a bit back. For a long time, you've been talking about being Chief Happiness Officer and talking about the importance of happiness. And I've been lucky enough to have met some amazing people in my life. And I've met a lot of people in the entertainment industry. I've met a lot of people who are chasing happiness, who preach about happiness. You're definitely one with the biggest title. In my opinion, and in my experience, people who are chasing happiness have come from a place of pain.
Of course.
Can we trace back the steps?
Sure.
Like, what got you here, and how did you get here today?
Sure. First, it's interesting how I sort of chased that title, found about it, and talked about it before answer your question. But we're going to get there. So I was working as an entrepreneur in residence in a tech accelerator in 2013 in South Africa, Cape Town. Amazing place, by the way, for so many reasons. And there I was coaching an amazing local entrepreneur to get their story out. And I was meeting a lot of investors and very rich people. And I had just come from living in New York for 10 years and surrounded by that wealth I was seeing and those people chasing wealth. And I was like, are they really happy? I see them crying at night. And then so all of a sudden I found myself, maybe my role here is just to cheer them up, to help them to understand who they are, to work on their purpose and help them to maybe make that bridge between you have your business life and then and there is your life on the side, your purpose. Try to align those both, not just chase money and success. And I was becoming sort of a life coach, and then make me think about, why am I again in this role of helping people on their happiness? What is my happiness? And then we can talk about later, what is happiness for me now, right? But of course it came from pain, right? I mean, no guy studied this at some point. Why spend years of your life on this if you had not pain at the beginning of your life? So at that time, I don't know, 2013, if I could trace it back now, it's quite easy. Of course, done so much work on myself. But basically, I grew up in a, I don't know if I've said that in a podcast as of yet. So that's why, I haven't, and I'm very happy to do that podcast because I think I haven't done a podcast in a year, maybe even 18 months. So it come at the right time. I came from a place with not so much growing up, not so much love from some part of the family. And that's why I think I chase outside. I chase French and I chase experience. I was so intense because inside home was quite difficult, a lot of pain, not so much love. So I had to go out. I think that was my survival. And I went on this quest of basically doing almost everything I could put my hand on, just chasing as much emotion and energy around the world as long as I had the roof. I didn't even chasing money, just as long as I was a roof and a bed, where else can I get what energy I can say, who I can work with, and then, so when you're 40, then I was just turning 40. So, of course you do some self-reflection on your life and say, okay, I understand why I needed to go on this quest. So now I'm much more slow in a way because I understood. I still have this intensity, believe me. I'm still in the game. That's probably going to be my next book. I'm still in the game at 50. Yet I understand what comes, and I think it's good after 40 to understand what comes. Pain comes from, use it to your best. But yeah, there was certainly a lot of pain, and there's still some pain left. It's not totally, now I understand, but that's what fueling my energy to coach people, fueling my energy to be on stage and wanting people to get, and I'm maybe, I don't know, maybe that's why when I did the keynote, you felt there was some energy, because every time I get on stage or I coach someone, I'm obsessed by something need to be left.
Planting a seed. This obsession to plant a seed.
I'm a fire starter. Something need to change in that person. But whatever I do that, of course, it's something need to change in me.
Yeah.
Right. So every time I heal someone, I'm healing a little bit of me. Just, of course, it's the repeating cycle, which now I'm fine with it. I also understand it's my fuel. Long answer to your question, though.
It's a long answer to my question, but I'm going to be digging a bit deeper into that. How the hell do you become a stand-up comedian?
Right.
Well, was that the first thing you did?
First thing I did in life?
Your first business idea? No. Okay, where did that come from? So where did it start?
So
you studied finance, right?
Yeah, so I studied in finance. I get bored.
You left France?
I left France.
How old were you?
So first time I left France, I was 16 to go to a high school in US. I got a scholarship. Came back to France, find a way to get to an American university in Paris. Find a way to get to the best trading room in Paris. Get bored, find a scholarship.
Why did you get bored?
Always get bored of something. I was just
this getting bored seems to be a trait. Yeah.
That was
was it the people? Was it making stupid money from doing boring stuff? What was it?
So I was just probably because I need like constant energy, constant emotion, constant feedback from wherever the place I am, people I am with, constant. Now I need less, right? Yet at the time, at 20 years old, I was just on emotion. So I can honestly get bored because maybe it was not, it's not enough emotion it's giving me back. Since again, I was not chasing money. I was chasing emotion, energy, back-to-back connection. So whenever there was not an emotional ping pong, I had to change, I had to switch. Everyone around me said, "You're nuts. You're in the best trading room." Then I went to Cartier in Japan selling jewels. I was 23. I had the best job probably in, we're talking the mid-90s there, late 90s. Best
Great
job
place
around.
To be.
Cartier, a European guy working at Cartier. Cool. Really cool on many aspects. Money-wise, yet something, get bored, you want to do something else. And so I became a comedian when I'm 30, taking a leap of faith again. I was back in France, working in a communication company at the time, creating event in finance. And I just have enough money to live 18 months on my own. I'm 30. I'm like, I had always this thing, what if I become an artist? I didn't come from an artistic family. What if? And I think this year I create a one-man show on my life, actually. I produce in France. And a friend of mine who saw the show say, it's almost as if you always had an itch to do something else. Like it's always something's bothering you until you do it and then to the next thing.
Tick the list.
And he's right. And I'm fine with it, right? It's as long as you're fine with what seems to be different, I think it's cool. You keep doing. So at the time, I'm 30 years old. I go to US, spend all my money in 18 months, like everyone, become a waiter, like everyone else. Didn't matter. I had a great resume before. I need to make a living. And I remember, was it Christmas 2003, maybe 2004, 2005? I'm in my car crying. I'm like, what am I done? I was a finance guy. I was an event guy. I was a Cartier guy. And here I am struggling in LA as an actor. I have to be a waiter on a Christmas day. I have to serve breakfast to people. What is it about? And I was crying. And then, there's always, I think, you're the lowest amount of pain, but as long as you did your maximum, I really do believe something happened. And then a month later, a week later, I nailed one of the top commercial in US. I was playing a Mercedes guy with the director of a big Brad Pitt movie. I forgot the name right now. So I had one of the best commercials. So I'm back on track. Financially, my ego is a little bit more, which you need in LA, right? You need a 7 out of 10, otherwise you die, right? So my ego is back up. Say, what can I do? What can I try? Why not comedy? Really start like this. Like I don't find myself as a comedian. I'm just a very classical guy of this very classical face. How can I stretch myself? I took a comedy class with Grech, one of the top comedy coaches in the US. I'm saying, nobody knows me. If I fail, nobody would never know. Who cares? I try. I remember I had 17 friends. They laugh. Okay, because your friends will not laugh if it's not funny. It's the worst. I've seen people over and over trying. They invite their friends the first time. When your friend, they never go back on stage. Never for their life. It's the worst. To not make laugh people is okay. Not make laugh your friends. Worst thing ever. So, and then I went on. So basically, I started.
What were the jokes about?
At the time, of course, being a French guy in LA, talk a lot about women. I was not married yet, so typical French guy in LA, women, playboy.
Double down on the
stereotype, but making fun a lot of me, right?
Okay.
The fact that for the American, for instance. Which all my gay American friends say we look gay, to American guys. So I was playing a lot on this stereotype, and I would go out of stage, make people very uncomfortable. I would take off the stage and I would dare a lot, right? So I would go in the room, find the most muscular American guy I could find, and I was trying to play the sort of a sexy French guy, sort of hitting on him, and it would make him very uncomfortable. And then the whole room will crack at it. And then, so one thing led to another. I did some TV series and more commercials. And so.
And then what happened? And then what was the next stage?
So that lasted for 7 years or so, comedy. I made a comedy film. We raised a bit of money from Japanese investor I had met in the past from a previous life. So we shot a comedy movie, a little bit like Borat, around the world in China, India. It was a crazy movie. We won festival, but then 2010, I think it's 2010, Cannes Film Festival. I'm in the room. There's everyone. There's M6 was #1 TV channel in France. Sony Film, Lionsgate, everyone, Paramount. And I go, okay, I'm going to be the biggest comedian in the world. I know. I looking at the face. They start to laugh. The movies, start to open. And then by the end, less laugh. And then I don't get a check. I don't get an offer. One guy it's like, Arnaud, there's something to your movie, but you need to find $1 million in marketing. Yeah. It's a big risk. 2010, 20% of movie distribution company have failed. They say, if you find $1 million, I'll take a bet. And I invest myself 2 million. I'm like, God, I already spent money. I spend my friends' money. I spend my own money to make this film. Depleted, burnout. And then, no way. So I had to do something else, basically. So for the first time in my life, I went through a depression. Really hard to get out of bed. And who I am, because I identify myself so much. Okay, I'm 35, 36 at the time. I am a comedian. I'm a filmmaker. This is my identity.
Yeah.
And the problem is when you stuck too much to what you think you are and what the world sees you as. You're stuck. Like you need to be super successful all the time. Otherwise, you've got lump. You really rethink your whole life. So that's what happened at the time, because I had not what I have now, right? I had not the distance. In a way, I was very immature, right? At 36 years old. That's why when I make young people, don't worry, I was super immature until I was 36, 37, and until I had the biggest failure in my life. So for 3 years after that, I've tried everything. Again, I was like, okay, because I remember that moment precisely. It's like 5 months after the movie. I'm in a New York party. This amazing guy, what's his name? Anyway, top-notch party in New York, and everyone asked me, what do you do? I'm with my best friend from Azerbaijan, by the way, not so far from here. And he's like, and people asking me, and I'm like, I don't know. I lost complete confidence in myself. Complete. Like I felt like a niche zero, a fly, just a mosquito, right? And I'm like, oh my God, I need to do something, anything. So I start to apply, and I tell my friend, I'm open to everything, anything. And believe it or not, so all those things, I don't know if I ever said that in a podcast, as I told you, because now I don't care. I can put all my failures. I don't care to be so open with all my past failure. I'm good in who I am as a person now at 50. Before, I probably wouldn't package those failures, not anymore. So at the time, it was the first thing. So did a lot of things, but at some point, I think I was just right there, right? Yeah, 2010. And I need a job. So something that I need a job that pays me and it give me energy still.
Yeah.
I could not take any job, right? It just give me. So I'm calling friends, just anything. And I go to see my friends who they were running one of the biggest French parties in the world called French Tuesdays. I think it's dead by now, but at the time was a big brand. They were very good in branding, those guys. And they started those like French style party in nightclubs around the world. You had to dress very proper, nice shoes, no tennis shoes, women in cocktail dress. It was very aspirational crowd, right? People wanted to feel they belong somewhere. And I remember at the time, so imagine, so my confidence level was at minus 50, and I'm going to those guys who are party guy. So I need to pretend, right? And I pretend that time. I can say now, right? Yeah. I pretend, hey, hi guys. Yeah, I'm a bit low. I need something. I say, Arnaud, you speak Japanese, right? Because I had spent 4 years before in Japan. Yeah. Why don't you start our company in Japan? I heard they love French people. They're big nightclubbers. I had never went in the night business, never, doing anything in nightclub. I was scared of Yakuza because I had to work in Japan before. And I was 36, 37 years old. And I'm like, sure, let's go. And then I jump and I spent a year managing parties in nightclub in Japan. That was the best thing ever. Get back on my track financially, but more important than financially, in my head.
Yeah, mentally.
Okay, I can do something. I can do something I know absolutely nothing about. Once again, I'm close to 40 now. And then one thing led to another. I'm in 3 years. So I'll do a lot of things like this for 3 years between, 4 years between the big failure, my movie failed, and then my coaching practice, which I had for now 10 years, right? So I try a lot of things. And Christmas 2013, and I'm telling my wife, so it's been 3-4 years, I've been trying different things and it's fun, but it's not, I need a momentum that will last me for at least 10 years. I remember, that's why I say, I want something that at least 10 years. I'm 40 now. I know myself. And I say, what is it? And I really look like, what is it that I have not done yet, which might excite me? And I'm, taking some time. I've never been in a tribe. Long story short, I find my way in a tribe in Ecuador. And I'm going to spend 3 weeks in Ecuador. Fascinating. Just rechange everything you think about life again. I came out of it. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to help people. I'm going to be just pour my humanity out and find any job where I can find the deepest connection with another human being. That was I came out with a clear.
What were the top 3 things that you learned in that tribe? Like top 2 things about humanity?
Sure. First is we worry about things that we should not worry. I'll give you an example. It's still clear. I'm in the tribe walking in the jungle with the shaman, and he's showing me the kids. The kids, I bet I'm real here. I bet you not. The kid must be 5 years old. He's on a tree. The tree must have been at least, 20 meters.
Wow.
It cannot be lower than 20 meters.
You can just imagine so many European moms panicking about that.
And say, look at this kid. What do you think? I'm like, oh my God. And I really think I panic there. We need to have what if, all my psyche, what if he failed? What do we do? What's happening? No, relax. It's fine. It's fine. This is what we do. We learn how to climb on tree. And you know what? If he climbed, that's going to be his destiny. So I don't say that's good, but it just is so relaxed about things. Next day, there's a small river. I see an anaconda. This is where the kids play all day long. The kids play all day long in a river where sometime anaconda. How do you leave the kids? Again, Arnaud, the same thing. Usually never happen. Kids play. Yes, there's anaconda from time to time, but usually nothing happened. Yes, 5 years ago, there's a kid that disappeared. Are we gonna not allow every kid of the tribe to play because 5 years ago someone died or disappeared? No. And 3 weeks of this, so the worrying things. That was the first thing. Then. Concept of time, right? There's no concept of, I think even the vocabulary, I don't know if there was a Quechua, I think, which close to Spanish, but not Spanish. Super hard to understand what they say. Had the basic Spanish, they don't speak Spanish, they speak Quechua. And just concept of time doesn't exist. There's just morning, afternoon. There's no 3 p.m., 5 p.m. And you're just much more relaxed after 3 weeks there.
Can imagine. And the third thing?
Third thing, what would I say? Trust more about life, destiny.
What is it about the community over there?
Community.
Working together versus...
Community is so strong. So one of the things, of course, is... So I don't know if every tribe is like this, right? Just the tribe I work with, 30 people. So basically, they don't even say, they don't verbalize like we do. But whoever is good at something, keep doing that thing. No one else in the tribe say. A woman who's a good hunter, even though mostly men are hunters, she's a hunter. A man is a good cook, even though mostly women cook, he's a cook. They don't say it's a woman thing or it's a man thing. So very much like this. The one who's good in finding his way in the jungle. Do you know how they find their way in the jungle? It was so scary. For me, they just take a little branch or little leaflet and they cut it like this. And I'm like, oh my God, first time, how are we going to find our way back? I was like, oh my God, we're going to die there. Right? And so every day is those, of course, that's the environment. So
fear, time, community.
Fear, time, community. Yeah. Community is fascinating, of course. I think part of who I am is a community builder. Probably ever since that experience, even more, yeah.
So you come back from the tribe and then you decide.
And I decide to...
Coaching, happiness.
So coaching, happiness, basically 2 months after the tribes, I go to South Africa. I found this job. Yeah, right? It's just Was it? No, the tribe was after the so yeah, during so already during as an entrepreneur in residence, I became aware of this term, Chief Happiness Officer. There was just a couple articles. No one had really picked it up. And then I decided, this is it. I'm going to wave that ride. And we were 2-3 guys in the same time in Europe, in the world. We didn't know each other, and we sort of ride that wave. I'm like, it's good branding. It's who I am. I'm fascinated about people, try to bring joy. Let's go with this. And so one thing to led another. The first thing I did is like, okay, what do I know what to do? What's the simple thing that doesn't cost money? Because I have like 6 months cash to live, and we're living in New York, right? 6 months cash is nothing. So what is the simplest thing I can do to make a name for myself? I know how to gather people. I know how to have friends who loan me. I've done a lot of events in my life. It's always easy for me to have someone loan me for free a big space. Say, I'm going to find a big space. I know a lot of people. I'm going to ask people to speak on stage about their passion, happiness, and things should work. And basically, I had no strategy. I'm not a strategist, but I'm an intuitive guy. Something should happen. So I get 6-7 friends of mine, and I say, we're going to talk about your passion. And that's when passion turns about purpose. So I get I found the name very quickly. Stand up for passion. Stand up for who you are, for your purpose, for your rawness, for basically what differentiates you in the world, right? I still remember like it's yesterday. So 2014, March 2014. I had a space at Cowork. And I was not even renting a desk at Cowork. So one of my friends renting a desk get me this huge Cowork at WeWork, this huge place at WeWork for me. And so I gather my friend during the rehearsal. We're going to talk, each of you, I want you to talk about your passion. And I remember my friend Suki Son, an amazing, gorgeous, successful Korean-American girl. And she's like, I don't know if I want to talk about my passion, but what I really, really like to talk about, it's the fact that I had 3 different husbands at the time already, a boyfriend. She had been divorced 3 times, or three long relationships that didn't work out. Now I'm 40 now. I have the right guy, finally. I want to talk about this. And I'm like, it's not really passion and joy, and I was thinking in my head, I don't know if sponsor, but it's fine. Forget about the money again. Let's go for the drive. I'll find a way to make money from this thing. And basically everyone talk about there. So I remember the first, and we did 30 events since then, right? But there was the first one. The second guy was my friend from Azerbaijan, Elman Salaev, who almost had been a politician. Very difficult because government some terrible thing happened with the government in Azerbaijan. So, but he talks about the need to vote and to have a purpose in politics. So they all talk about something super deep. She found the right man at 40 years old. Him, my Brooklyn friends talk about the importance of working hard. And so all of them went super deep, and they became what drive my life for the last 10 years, helping people to empower, to uncover their purpose.
And then you started to move into organizations as your chief happiness officer. Define happiness.
So I don't know if that's what I said back then, but that's how I define now, right? First of all, I still laugh with it. I don't know if I'm a specialist for happiness, but I have a guy who studied that a lot, right? Makes me smile because who's a specialist of happiness? But what is sure is I try to understand what seems to work for people. Mm-hmm. Seems to work, right? First is how to say I'm happy, but the goal, I think, is to find as many joyful moments. Okay. That's it, right? As long as you have enough joyful moments in a month or in a week, you're good. For me, that's now. The second thing is, we all need to break down what is happiness for you now. For me, now, hearing my kid laughing, taking my kid to school in the morning. I'm lucky enough as an entrepreneur, I can take him to school, take him back to school. He was in a great Montessori school in Bordeaux where we live. The school closed last week. So just before I took the plane, 2 days ago, I cried.
I cried. Actually, lose those moments.
Yeah, I live so much, and my kid, first time he sees me cry, he's like, "You dad is," and he was showing his friend. My dad is crying because it's so important. This school was so important for me. So hearing my kid laughing, taking to school, back to school, doing sports, because I know it's the only way to live long, right? So doing sports, being able to still being in the game, like still having somewhat an interesting life. And I say everyone has an interesting life, but for me, interesting life means where I can do what moves me now, right? So
is happiness,
break down on what is important to you.
Is happiness the absence of pain?
No, because pain will still be here. You cannot alleviate it. I will still have pain, and I still have pain from time to time. So just being okay with pain. Sit down with pain. Okay, pain is there, suffering there. It's part of life. There's up and down. There's no light without shadow. It's okay. Just okay with pain.
What's the difference between happiness for the individual and happiness for the organization? And when does it matter?
Right. So the last 10 years, half of my time working with individual on purpose, mostly, more than happiness. What drives them, right? What nourishes them. I heard it's also one of your passion. And then for organization, for me, happiness in an organization always comes down to one thing: respect. Respect, that's it. Just, there's a term called psychological safety, being able to live whatever time people need to be themselves in the organization. The fact that whenever they speak, they say something, there's a good chance they will not be fired or it will not backfire at them. All come down to respect, transparency, being able to tell your emotion when the time is right, and feeling that you have your place in this organization. You're not just a numbers. That's why we see those. I have friends like this. I have 3 friends of 50 years old in France now. They've worked 20 years in organization. The organization fired them. They feel obsolete. Who am I? They feel like a numbers, right? I feel so sad for them. Because they give everything to the organization. Unfortunately, it was one of those organizations. They just saw them as a number, like many organizations do, right? So as long as you see them, treat them. When I go to an organization and basically the first thing I do is storytelling. Let them tell the story of how they become the person they are. More often than not, people start to cry. And I'm not some shaman or therapist. I'm not even a psychologist. I just see them, let them be seen. And many of them for the very first time.
I was there when you pulled out 3 people at Supercharger Ventures and you asked them to talk about how they saw each other and how they viewed each other. I was really impressed how something so simple as that had such a deep effect on those 3 women who got up to speak.
Right.
And I believe in what you're doing. But I also believe that there are a lot of businesses out there who look at what you're saying today as this is all just like fluffy stuff.
Sure.
How do you sell what you do to organizations?
Right. So first of all, never been easy to sell. Never. Right. Almost all came from, they saw me something, they heard something, so word of mouth. I mean, I've done tens of thousands of reaching out through LinkedIn or email list. I got almost none from that. Like, it's not 1%, it's 0.00 something. Really hard to sell my business. So that's why I really believe in what I do, because I keep doing it and I keep having customer. That's why I pinch myself. I'm still in the game. God, it's amazing. Because as you say, many people don't believe. But sometimes it just hit the right note for the CEOs. Like, I can't go on as an organization. I'm an organic. It's something organic. It's something alive. Or I I don't want to be the monster anymore. I want people to belong to a family. Even though sometimes, maybe 10-15% of the time, when many CEO hire me more than actually HR.
Okay.
Sometimes HR, it's more difficult than CEO. CEO get it because they see someone with, when someone is sad, what happens is they come to me and they say, we want you to bring respect, happiness in the organization. Yet please don't talk about joy. Don't talk about family. Don't be too American. Just please create some cohesion. But just don't be too crazy. Don't put too much passion around it. It's crazy, no? They ask me, don't put passion. Don't say the word joy. Don't say the word family. Yet please create some sort of cohesion.
What's your response to that?
First, I laugh every time. I laugh, right? And sometimes it still become a client, and sometimes it doesn't become a client. Like, dude. But I still work with them. I'm like, okay, it's just their trauma, their own trauma. They cannot talk about. That's their own trauma. But I'm still gonna do the job. So I'm still gonna make people feel they belong somewhere.
For the non-believers,
yeah.
What are the long-term effects that you see with the organizations that you've worked with?
Right, simple, less turnover.
That's a huge cost saving already.
That's a huge cost, that's it. And I never, all my marketing friends, you probably would tell me if we were to work together, put it on your website. We still didn't put it because it sounds so business. I should put it. We decrease turnover. People stay together.
Yeah.
One company I work, I'm so proud to have worked with them. I don't know if they work here in Malta, Karim. They are the biggest taxi company in the Middle East. They were my client until they sold themselves for $3 billion.
It's not too bad.
Not too bad. It was the first big startup event. The biggest startup exit in the Middle East. And the CEO brought me, one of the co-founders brought me in the company. They were like 5 years old. And we got all the manager and telling the story. And we understand basically there's no what I found is every team, there's no coincidence for 80% of the team, of course. There's 10-20% that should not belong there. Somehow they found a way, the company, because they needed money, there's a friend. But basically 80% of people working in a company are exactly where they're supposed to be in life. There's a unconscious thread linking them. For instance, Karim, they all found when we did a storytelling exercise that they all had an existential crisis at some point. I mean, I didn't find that in any other company in the world. It's huge. I mean, they all were all open. I mean, we're talking about like serious top executive. I mean, those guys were Oxford, Yale, Harvard guys, big guys, right? Or women, very big top executive. And for them to share, and they were like, oh my God, this is why we're together. And that's what I found. It's fascinating when I work with organization, always something linking them consciously or unconsciously. Is it clear what I say?
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. Yeah? And that brings them together. We're seeing, we had this discussion just before we started about, the role that AI is playing in today and the way leaders, have to really sort of rethink the way we're leading or actually go back to basics. And specifically, what you talked about in terms of AI is what brought us together, because I was attending you. I'd love you to share about how you see the change in the role of the leader in a generation of AI.
Okay.
What are the big things?
So first of all, I think it's interesting for people out there why a guy like me wouldn't get interest in AI, right? So let me backtrack to, let's say, 2 years ago. And sometime you get into a field, either because you're super attracted, or in my case, because you fear. I was actually almost panicked, thinking of my kid. He was 6 at the time. What is he going to become with this AI thing? And I see some of my friend, my video producer friend in France, losing their job, feeling obsolete. My designer friend, top designer in France, losing their job because of AI. We're talking 2 years ago. Some sales guy, marketing guy. What's going to become? I'm going to reinvent myself. I did it so many times. I'm not afraid. But for my friend, for the world, for my kid. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to beat this thing. I'm going to study it thing. And I had some FOMO. What happened if I don't jump on the bandwagon? And I'm like, So I studied, talked to all my AI engineer friends, and I came out of it. Okay, it's here to stay. There's going to be some really good things out of the band. Better to jump on the bandwagon. It's still going to help a lot of people. And now I see how it helps, right? For instance, as a leader, it's a great sparring partner, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes as an entrepreneur, as a leader, you feel alone. You wake up and I still do, by the way, wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning. What am I doing? Where am I going? What life is about? And it's fine. Many entrepreneurs, especially in France, don't want to talk about this. Happens to 95%, except unless you're a sociopath. You don't wake up at 3 a.m. I don't want to be a sociopath. I'm still ready to feel I'm a human being, right? So as a leader, sometimes you feel alone. And with all the engine now, Claude, ChatGPT, you have a sparring partner. What if I do? Can you challenge me? What if there was an amazing way for my business to go different? And have a talk next week. Challenge me. What kind of question? It's amazing. You don't need to call a coach or a friend or an advisor anymore. You still do. I still do. Yeah. Right? For my pitch tomorrow, I called 7 friends. But I also use, equally the time on GPT and Claude to prepare me to my pitch. Fascinating, the sparring partner, right? And you do find, my next book, it would have taken me weeks to find it. I've got this great title now, possible title. So it's a great sparring partner. As long as you see as a sparring partner, as a tool, give it an absurd name.
Yeah, you mentioned that. That was a good one.
I call it spinach. Spinach, because it's spinach. It's stupid, right? And all my AI engineer friends say, it's a tool, Arnaud. It's a tool. It's not someone you can trust. You cannot trust AI. So keep in mind, you cannot just use as a sparring partner. I
think that's interesting. I love the way that you talked about the fact that you looked at AI as kind of the enemy for a while, and you looked at AI as something which is like, do we trust this? Yeah. And now what you're actually working on, which I really wanted to share with the team over here, actually is now absorbing AI for diagnostics, which you also didn't believe in as much. So this whole complete 10 and 360. Yeah. Tell me why it happened and tell me what you're building, because that's really exciting.
Sure. So I've been in the coaching business for 10 years. 10 years people ask me, do you have a diagnostic? We need diagnostic. And so many companies have diagnostic. I'm so bored of diagnostic because I know we are organic. We change. We move. Our value change. I'm not what I am now today in Malta. 2026 might be different 2 years from now. Where am I going to be? I'm not sure. Who am I going to be? Some new layers. So diagnostic is, and yet it's true. It would take me some time to figure out a team. And studying AI, I understand it can give you a pretty good diagnostic. So what we found out and what we're working on now, what we're building with an AI engineer is possibly, we'll see, future will tell. I never know, right? But I put all my effort. I don't know if we'll succeed, but we put all our effort, right? Is what if we could change the way Myers-Briggs, Enneagram, all the psychology, Hogan, all the psychology could test out there to help us to understand us better before we actually change a career, get in a new company. What if we could? So now we're working on building an AI simulation engine that would help us get into a world, a virtual world. Imagine a leadership situation where it's not a self-assessment. We don't ask you a question. What do you do? No. We just show you like a video game, taking a direction, doing something. So it's a huge, complex thing.
Very complex.
But it's very exciting. So after the AI simulation of 40 minutes that's our AI engineer telling us, probably analyzing 8.2 million data points versus 50,000 usually. What is sure is it's true that show me the demo. So basically analyzing what you do without being conscious of it. Because the problem with self-assessment, you're conscious of it.
You're projecting what you want people to see you as.
So this is what we're working on. So, and on the side, we have what we've been working on the last 4 years. We have an online school of leadership with 30 videos.
Which now you're translating into English, right?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I look forward to being one
Thank
of
you.
your first customers as soon as you go there. I believe that this is going to really work for you.
Thanks.
A couple of last questions, because I just looked at my watch and we're getting there. Young Arnaud deciding whether he wants to work at Cartier or moving into the finance industry. If you had to meet him today, what do you think he'd say?
At what age?
Well, I think, how old were you when you got into the finance industry? You're in your 20s now.
Yeah. I mean,
so 20. Let's just go that 20-year-old Arnaud. What would you be saying about 50-year-old Arnaud?
You would say you're gonna have less money that you think you're gonna have in the bank, but you're gonna have the most incredible life. It's gonna be so rich. You have no idea that you're gonna meet the most incredible human being, and you're gonna have a life very, very rich.
And if you flip that, what do 20-year-old tell you back?
Let's go for it. As long as there's energy and movement, let's go for it. I'm ready. I want to use my energy, and I sure did use all my energy, everything I had in mind, took as much as a risk as I could.
When The Economist writes about you in 100 years from now, after you maybe pass away, let's assume you're not going to live for another 100 years.
Right.
What do you think your legacy is going to be?
Yeah, I don't know if the Economist will ever write about me. I'd rather my son to be happy about me. But what he would say is a pioneer in many fields, took a leap of faith when he knew nothing about many fields, just trusting his instinct, trusting his gut, was okay to fail on many things, and obsessed about sharing both his success and failures. Would it be interesting?
And I'm sure. And when they do a movie about you, I want to ask you two questions. I normally ask, what's the soundtrack? And I know you have an answer for that. But before that, who's going to be the actor that plays your part?
There's a one in France I love, is Benoît Magimel. I don't think it's... Do you know him?
No.
But
I'll look him up.
I don't know.
Benoît, if you're watching this, just get ready.
Yeah, I would love...
There's a script coming your way.
Ryan Gosling, of course.
Yeah, well, why not?
Why not, right? The soundtrack will be for sure My Way.
My Way.
I don't know how to sing. I told you, zero capacity. But I just want one day before I die, learn how to sing, just to be able to sing that song in front of an audience. My Way. I mean, I love every words of that song.
Given the success you've had in doing so many things that you had no idea about, I think this is the easiest one you've picked for yourself. No,
it's quite easy.
I know this has been an incredibly interesting conversation with you. I really wish you the best of luck. I know you've got pitch day in a couple of days. I'm sure that people are going to be throwing money at you. I hope they do. I really look forward to being one of your first customers of the new Humanava platform. And thank you so much for being so generous with your time and your thoughts and your story today.
Thank you. And I'm going to keep coming back to the rock. I know that.
Look forward to seeing you there.